Welcome back to another episode of Aunt and Andrew, with family's everything.
Until it's not. I'm Aunt.
And I'm Andrew. And
Hi,
before we get
Andrew.
started,
Oh, yeah.
please subscribe, like, comment, and then if you have your phone out in handy, follow us on Instagram at
Yep.
Aunt and Andrew, where you can get all your daily updates about all our
Mm-hmm.
craziness. Not ours, but you know what we're talking
Do you know what this week is, right? Coming up.
about.
It's Valentine's Day. That's why I wore red.
Oh yes, love, love, love. That's why I wore pink.
Yeah. Tell me something. Could Ariana's room be a bigger mess? Could
We talked
it?
about
It
that last
could.
week.
I know, but it's worse this
Yeah,
week
but
than
their
it
house
is.
was never a mess when they both lived there, so I
No,
just don't
you know
care.
what some people are when they film like that? Like the roll-offs. You ever watch the roll-offs, the Little People, Big World?
No, I
They
don't.
used to have like, well, no, back in the day when they were a family, every single reality couple doesn't make it. There's like two in the history that is still married. Mauricio and Kyle were one of them, and Lisa and Ken, but nobody else makes it. Even
In
the little
Beverly
people.
Hills, or are you talking about in
No, I'm talking
general?
about in general. All reality couples get divorced.
Whitney and her husband,
Whitney,
Lisa
who?
Barlow and her
Oh, okay,
husband,
okay,
Jen
okay. No, no.
Shaw and her
I'm
husband.
just saying.
Let's keep going. There's more.
Listen,
Meredith Marks and her husband, even
okay.
though they've had issues, they're still together. And then let's go to New York. New York, there's not many.
No, okay. And Atlanta. I mean,
Well,
I'm
the
just
new New
saying.
York, but that's because they haven't been on TV long enough. Let's see them in
Right.
3 years.
Okay. Well, let me just say something. There are a lot of shows that as soon as you become reality stars and you think they'll never divorce, it doesn't matter if it's the Amish show, if it's the sister wives who are all like in this religious covenant. No, they've dumped each other. Even the little people of the roll-offs got divorced and married big people. Anyways, it's funny at the roll-offs, they had their kitchen and living room was clean. And then if you got a peek in the bedrooms, it was a full-on disaster. So I think a lot of these people keep the rooms that they film in perfect. And then behind closed doors, oof, it's bad. But
I see.
Ariana's room's a mess.
Yeah, but have you not noticed her temperament? She doesn't like she's not comfortable in her own home.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, but we found out it's benefiting her to live there. I
What do you
wouldn't leave either. I wouldn't leave if I was her either because he's paying the rent, he's
She
paying
said
all the
that though. She said
utilities.
that it's not that I don't know if you saw that. She said she requires him to send her like like if the utility bill's $300, send her a copy of it and then request half of it. And he doesn't do that.
He doesn't, he's just paying for it. So I don't blame her for not leaving though. And I don't blame him for not
She's
leaving.
suing him though now for not leaving. She
I
has been
know.
for
I
3
don't,
months.
I think
I think you're giving Ariana way too much like manipulation and like personality
oh,
credit.
I think well, when she wouldn't let him have his little party initially, that was sort of manipulation. And there were way more than 12.
Would
I
you have
counted.
wanted those people at your house?
I know. Who are these people
All
according
of
to
them.
James?
All of
Who
them.
are these people? I've never seen them before
All
in
of
my
them.
life.
Would you want them there? I think I'm gonna have Billy Lee come over to your house.
Oh, geez, Billy Lee, a blast from the past. Tell me something. I found out that Anne, the
I love Anne.
Anne's an actress, by the way. Of course, everybody in Hollywood
Yeah.
is, though.
So
I
is
mean,
Tom
so that's
Sandoval. He's
no
a
big
model.
deal.
He was on the hills.
But I thought she was a little dry, don't you?
I
Considering
thought she
what
was
she's going through,
hysterical.
she must be medicated. I think she's under a lot of stress, to tell you the truth.
Her reaction, like, I think that she was totally
She
fine.
has to be. She's chewing something, whatever. She has to be.
Her reaction when Tom told her about the party
Yeah,
was normal, all seemed good.
right.
And then I will say this, I give Ariana credit, even though I could see a little bit of an undertone. I think she did okay with being respectful of Anne, a little
No, I think
snippy.
her and her. I don't think she minds Anne
I
actually.
think she got a little annoyed, and you could tell when she was like, they're not coming to my house, that whole thing.
Yeah.
And when she went upstairs, where
Which
she was like,
I don't think she's
this
annoyed
is
at
so
Anne.
weird.
I don't think she's really mad at Anne, though. I think she's happy to have Anne actually as the intermediary.
I'm sure she is. I just loved
Yeah.
Anne. You know why I liked Anne? She
I'm
was nice to
sorry.
the
I
dog.
actually she's nice to everybody. She's in a horrible situation, which makes me believe she must be medicated.
or she's paid by Bravo and she's not a real
Yeah, well,
assistant.
she is. Well, they're not together anymore. And I guess she has a podcast and it's called NDAs or something like that.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Yeah, it's something to do with that. We
What
signed
did
it.
you think about Lala's conversation with Ariana?
I understood what Ariana was saying. I mean, I understood what Lala was saying. Lala was kind of telling her in a weird way, you're kind of being a bitch.
I think that Lala, but I also think that like it's very easy when you're, and Lala's been through it. So I think it's also a lot of like, she's had lived experience of like
Yes,
the
yes.
way that she treated like the rant. Like I think that Lala has been in that place before. And of course it's a different ball game because she doesn't live with Randall, but Lala
Oh,
has been
she
in that
did.
place before where it's like, it doesn't matter if it's right or wrong, if it's like ethical or not ethical, if it's like manipulative or not manipulative. She feels that I think she's learned that like it doesn't get you anywhere when in these situations when you're really stubborn about something that really doesn't cause you any type of distress. So I think that's more where Lala was coming from, where she was like, but wait, what is it gonna like? It's gonna cause you more harm being known as the person that won't let him have people over than it would if you just said like set some boundaries and be like, I'm going out. By the
Yeah.
time I get home, I
And she
want
was
them
going out
gone.
anyways.
And
Right.
like where I think that's what Lala was saying, but I appreciated that it seems, and you can tell now because in the here and now, Ariana and Lala are like really loving on social media with each other
Mm,
currently.
mm.
That like it
Well,
leads me to
they
believe.
did have a little snack in the back of the car once.
Well, yes, that's a while
Okay,
ago,
so that I'm
but
just
they
saying.
also like they've also had issues, and they've also like, I mean, like what I'm saying is they're being very real with each other, and I bet
Yes,
they come
but
out
you
on the
want
other
to
side
I
in a
want to
good
tell you what
place.
I don't believe Ariana will ever get over this. Where I
I
can
think she's
see
over it. I think that she's
no,
for
no, no.
like,
Let me tell you something. She's always going to have hatred for Tom, blah, blah. No, but I'm going to tell you, I know people who've gotten divorced. And when you first hear about it and everything, you like commiserate with them. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, blah, blah. It's like a big thing. Oh, they're getting divorced. They're getting divorced. They're getting divorced. I know someone who's still talking about their divorce 20 years later, and
okay,
I'm over it. Like, don't talk about your divorce anymore. I'm sick of your hearing about it. Like, shut up. And
okay,
so I think what's going to happen as the season goes on is Ariana is always going to have that for Tom. She's never
okay,
going to get over it. Okay. But the other people are slowly going to be like, well, he really didn't do anything to me. Okay. Yeah, he did to Ariana. Okay. But like their madness is going to dissipate.
I think
And it's
Ariana's
not
not
going
going to
to
be on the show
stay.
that long. Have you seen the clips from Chicago?
I told you she was Roxy. Listen, I told you she was going to be Roxy Hart 2 or 3 months ago. And you said, well, we don't know if it's
What do you?
Roxy Hart.
Nope.
Remember? Yes, we
I did
did.
not. Look at the footage.
I'm
I've
gonna
known
go
this
look
from
at
the
it.
beginning.
You said
Yeah, I
you
said
said
she's talented. You thought it was just because of Scandoval. I'm telling you, she went to
no,
performing
she's
arts
very good.
school.
I
And
saw
so
her.
I think
Yeah.
this is going to get her on Broadway. She's going to get another contract. She's going to do a bunch of shows on Broadway.
Who else could she be?
I, I don't know. All I know is that Chicago sells more tickets right now than they've ever
I
sold
know it's
in
had the
20
biggest
years.
week ever.
So
Should we
like
go? When is she there till? Should we go down for the day
March
and see her?
24th. Yeah, we need to.
Yeah, let's
I was
get
thinking
on
about
the
that.
pick a day and we'll either like a Sunday. We can just go down on the train in the morning, see the show and come back.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we can, if you want to, we could get in the car and drive on a Sunday morning and see
Okay.
the matinee.
Okay.
It's a lot of sitting in one day. I'd rather drive. I would rather take the train or a plane. I have no problem taking a plane. I'm
Yeah.
just saying. Of course,
What do
if you
you
want,
think?
we shouldn't be talking about our travel arrangements in the middle of our podcast. But I think it's interesting that suddenly she wants kids, and if she wants kids that much, and Dan's the one she wants kids with, go get the popsicles in the freezer and just put them down the drain and get rid of Sandoval's, snack treats.
Okay.
Because she's got them, her babies. She calls them her babies. So I assume they were fertilized. Well, that's different. If she's fertilized the babies, that's a whole different matter.
I mean,
You can't get rid of the fertilized babies. They're your
what do you,
babies.
I just don't like. You have to understand something. I have never thought Tom Sandoval is anything good at all. I think he's always been carried by better characters, and he's always found a way to squeeze by.
Yeah.
That's just how I feel.
Yeah. But he's made it work in his own way.
I guess, but like,
No, what do you
really?
mean he gets? He's on a major TV show. Everybody knows who Tom Sandoval is. Well, not
Yes.
everybody. Listen, more people know who Tom Sandoval is, though, than Scheana Shea knows who Joe Biden is. Because if you watch What Happens Live,
Or
she didn't
Nikki
know,
Haley.
or Nikki Haley, she didn't know. Did she know anybody now that I think
No,
about it? Not
none,
really. Not. Oh,
none.
she kind of knew who Gypsy Rose was. I
I
did not.
guess.
I want the world to know I did not know who Gypsy Rose was.
I just
Um,
have heard her a little bit of late, but I didn't know before. I
yeah,
don't
I'm
know.
not into that whole deal. But tell
I
me
don't like how
something.
Bravo's clearly producing the Graham situation, the dogs thing. That
Oh,
they know that the
Graham.
dog, because we know the dog comes back, and so it's like,
Does the dog come back? I thought the dog was given away to a shelter or something from the mom.
yeah, and
Graham.
then Lisa, like Vanderpump Dogs, finds the dog, and James and they get the dog
Oh,
back.
oh, well, isn't that a wonderful ending?
Oh
That's
yeah,
fantastic. Do you think our Vanderpump Lisa gets daily glam like our Salt Lake Lisa does?
I don't think so.
You don't?
No,
You don't think You don't think
no,
when the hairdresser was there, he said, "So how do we want to do your hair today?" And I thought to myself, "Oh, she gets daily glam too."
no way. There's no way.
Lisa Barlow doesn't. She got bangs.
There's no way Lisa Vanderpump gets Daily Glam.
Really?
There's no way.
It was a good run for Pump, huh?
I guess.
You know what made me laugh is that it was busy the last night. That always happens. I
Well,
was just
yeah, it's
down
the last night. They were also
in
filming
Disney
they were also filming
and they
Vanderpump
closed.
Rules, and the whole cast was coming.
No, I understand that, but you want to know what's funny about the last night? Like a place can be dead, and all of a sudden everybody wants to be there the last night. Because I was just down in Disney and they closed Country Bear Jamboree, and it was packed the last 2 days. If it was
Huh.
packed all the time, they wouldn't have closed it. I know, isn't that funny? It made me laugh.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I mean, it was like it has to
the
pick up.
things that
There's
make me
just
laugh.
I mean, I just don't love the show yet.
Oh, the show?
Yeah, I just
Oh,
don't.
really?
Yeah, I just think that
I
they're
thought it was funny
all
that Schwartz was behind the bar. He's just, and you know what's funny? He's going like, "Oh, I'm a little rusty," and I thought to myself, "You are like you own 2 bars for God's sakes. You shouldn't be rusty behind the bar. He should be behind the bar one night a week. Get the people in. If you ever go to Clearwater, Florida, they got Hogan's hideout, and Hogan's there all the time. Hulk Hogan, like he shows up 2 or 3 nights a week. You're gonna have a bar. You got to show up. You got to
yeah,
do
but
something.
does he bartend at the bar?
Nobody's son runs karaoke.
Okay, but Schwartz didn't say I don't go to my establishments. He
Yeah,
just
but
says
he
I
doesn't
don't go
run the
behind the
bar.
bar.
I don't know. I thought it was funny. He was upset. Now, what do you think about when Tom met Tom? And he was upset that like he hadn't come around, but then he also said he didn't think anybody wanted him around. So he's been in a hard position.
Tom Sandoval is the biggest narcissist on planet Earth and doesn't belong
Yeah,
or should
I
be on these
know, but
shows.
it's okay. Well,
I
he
mean,
is
he can't
though.
even, after it all, he can't even sit down with James and say he's sorry. He can't even
But
like
did
take,
you agree with James's analysis? It was I did sort of agree with Tom. Why am I getting? I'm having a lot of sympathy for Tom. I did kind of agree with Tom. What was the difference? As they showed the flashbacks, you were doing my girlfriend in my bed using my condoms.
they were all, they grew up. They like people grow up. I think
I
that that
know,
is
but
very
I
understandable.
can see in someone who
Were they
hasn't,
friends?
but I can see in someone.
Were they friends like they
No,
were now?
no,
And
they
I
weren't.
also
They
want to
weren't. They
know
weren't. They weren't. Okay,
they weren't.
but James wasn't that much different than Rachel because Rachel hadn't been around that much. I
Also,
mean,
they
really.
weren't friends for a while. Imagine the journey that James and Tom have been on since then. Is that what Tom wants?
Listen,
Fist
you're
fights,
you're
screaming.
expecting Tom to have matured, but let's face it, Tom's still 20 in his head, not on his
I think that Tom should like sit in his own bullshit for a second.
he doesn't want to. He thinks he went to the desert and he suffered and he should be resurrected.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess.
that's really what
mean,
that is really
I
what
also
he
find it
thinks.
so funny that Tom couldn't get sober for fucking a week to get
To
his
get his
eggs
sperm.
to
Yeah.
sperm, but
Yeah.
yet he's now so because
He's sober because Rachel is
he's
sober.
temporarily sober.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I'm
I'm
sure.
actually sick and tired of people using sobriety as a way to get out of shit that they've done.
Well, that's what they do. Look at Luann did it,
Yeah,
and
but
a lot
like
of people do
it's
it.
really disrespectful to people that are actually sober.
Living a sober life. Yeah.
Yeah, that actually like take responsibility for their actions. And like through that, they are then saying, okay, I know that that's what brings me down. And I just think it's like it's just very juvenile. It's juvenile when people do it without cameras following them. It's very
Mhm.
juvenile when they do it with cameras following them. And I just feel like there's a lot of just I just think Tom feels very entitled that he like it's very patronizing. It's like, and I know it's gonna get worse with Raquel. It's like Tom thinks that Raquel, and I'm sure it's when, because like right now they could still think she might be holding out and coming back. There was like that
Yes.
2 to 3
Yes.
week time frame. And I
And that
just
could be
think,
by he's saying he loves her
yeah, and I just
for
have a feeling,
storyline purposes.
or that they're having him say that now. And like what I will say is like anyone that has followed the story, remember, they wanted Raquel back so bad.
So bad.
And she said no.
She said, and so why do you think she said no?
Because she was told by her doctors and her family and everyone around her, this is not good for you. And she did the right thing.
She did, which is rare.
I mean, though, like this just makes me believe that she was really in this very, very, very hard spot, the same spot that Tom Sandoval should feel. And
Yeah,
I just think
he
like it's
should.
such a cop out. And it just furthers the idea like that the woman's always blamed in those situations.
Mhm.
It's true. I
Mhm.
mean, because when you look back at Vanderpump too, like I mean, Kristen
Well,
and
like
Stassi.
When Kristen slept with Jax, it was Kristen's problem.
Mhm.
Yeah. When Kristen slept with James, it was Kristen's problem.
When Lala was rumored to be with a married man, it was Lala's problem. But then when
Problem.
they met the married man, they all loved the fact that he was filthy rich, allegedly.
Yes. And then when Lala was doing James, it was Lala.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is the woman.
So I think it's just
The
like,
scoundrel.
but I also think Raquel knew that. So I think for her, she's like, I'm not going to win. So why am I going to go back?
Yeah, I get it. I
I'll
think
never
she's
win.
probably, you know what I think's funny is half of calling her Rachel, half of calling her Raquel. They all go back and forth.
The thing is that
Ariana's
sucks is
calling
that
her
we
Rachel.
followed it. Like we
I know,
followed the whole story. So like,
I know.
that's why I feel like I'm
It's
not
a little
engaged
in the
right now.
past right now.
Thank you. That's what it is.
That's what it is. It's living in the past. Did you know, speaking of the past, well, maybe the future. Did you know Allie's a psychic now? Who knew?
She was last season.
She was a psychic last season?
That was like her whole storyline was that she wanted to do readings.
Well, I missed it. I missed the memo.
She brought James to the psychic.
I want to go on. She wasn't the psychic though.
No, but that was the
herself.
whole part is that she said, I'm into this. This is what I want to do. I've gone to school and so I'm going to bring James to like,
I'm going to look her up.
I want to get a reading by her on Zoom.
I want to do a reading. Yeah. Yeah, that would be cool. Do an Aunt Andrew reading.
We should ask her if we can go out to LA and film it with her. Like
No.
that we'll do it for the podcast. Like we'll make it a podcast, but it's more like a reading on the podcast.
I would love to see what she said about mine.
I don't
Wouldn't
know.
you love that? I would.
I just hope there's some surprises.
Okay, so what'd you think about the birthday party? I thought it was funny. You know, when Tom went to meet Tom at the bar, he didn't have his manicure, but for his birthday, he did.
Yeah.
These are little things I noticed because I thought, oh, he doesn't have his nails done. Oh, he must be feeling
I
bad
mean, but
about
I
himself.
do give Schwartz a lot of credit for that. He finally said, I'm going to do what's best for me.
Yeah. It probably lasted
Because one
about
thing that we
45
really,
minutes.
but I will tell you one thing that has been out there, but I don't think has been very much like said, like it needs to just kind of be fact. It shouldn't be an opinion. Up until Scandoval, Tom Schwartz has been Tom Sandoval's bitch since the show started on
Totally. I don't think anybody can deny Schwartz is his lapdog, his doormat.
And I give Katie credit because I feel like Katie could have been a lot worse over the years. And she really did protect Tom Schwartz and his integrity a little bit, because if that was my partner, I would have been like,
Oh,
get out of your business partner's
well,
asshole.
he's still a
He
child.
he owns you. He controls you. You have no agency for yourself. It's all about what he wants, like all that shit. It's
I'm
not
gonna say with Schwartz is he thinks he has very low self-esteem, I think, Tom Schwartz, for somebody who's on TV.
okay.
And Tom Sandoval has a distorted view of his greatness. Like, I believe that Sandoval thinks he's better than he is, and Schwartz doesn't think he is as good as
Well,
he
I
is.
will also say
And
that
that's the disparity in their relationship, because they're actually here because they're totally friends and they're equals in a lot of ways. But
yeah.
Tom thinks he's way up here, and I don't know if you can see it, and Schwartz is down here in their heads when they really should both be here. And I think it makes both of them have issues. Well, it does, because they both have issues.
Yeah, but what I'll say
What do you
is
think's
that
worse, thinking that you're less than you are, or thinking you're greater than you are? That's a good question. Everybody tell us what you think. Do you think it's better to have a high opinion of
for
yourself or a
who?
low? For the person themselves, I'm saying.
Obviously a high opinion of yourself.
Yeah, but that's distorted too, isn't it?
But for you, this person, it's great. You're delusional.
Okay. All
We
right. So
know a
it's
few
better.
people that live
So,
in delusion.
so everybody have a wicked high opinion of yourself. Oh, I just got very bossed in there with wicked.
I mean, I'll just say that I think that Sandoval, whatever way you want to spin it, the reason why he felt so much better than those other guys for so long was because he did not have the relationship issues that Jax had, that James had, that Tom
Right.
Schwartz had. And what we've now learned pretty much is that he has been lying. Like I believe he's cheated on Ariana a number of times. Like
Yeah,
this
yeah,
isn't
yeah,
even just
yeah.
two. It's
No,
definitely
I
more
think
than
it's
that.
more. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he
Yeah.
just was able to keep his stuff private.
Mhm.
And there's no difference. And I think he's having a hard
Don't you
time.
think, though, a bunch of other people would come out by now? Don't you think we'd hear from more people saying, "Oh, I had sex with them too. So did I. So did I."
Really? Because look at Raquel. Do they
Oh, yeah,
want
she got
Ariana's
ruined.
haters?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want
It's
that.
it's
No,
like if Travis
that's
Kelce
true.
cheated on Taylor Swift. Do you think that the girl that did that
OMG.
would come forward?
No, I'd be
No.
afraid.
So I think that there's a difference there. And I think also that like there's
Okay, and you know
something.
what? Go ahead, finish. I got
Yeah,
something to
thanks.
say about
God.
Swift.
There's something to be said. Like Jax got in trouble early in life, like when it comes to life of the show. And like
He
I
learned.
believe has a really great marriage now,
Right,
or at least we think so, and I hope it's
right.
true. Tom Schwartz he's gone through a divorce. So hopefully the next time we see him in a relationship, he'll have learned something. I believe we're seeing the best version of James Kennedy. And I also think that's very strategic because he knows this is his opportunity to be the best
Yes,
version.
yes, yes, I agree.
Sandoval, though he thinks it's been great that he hasn't been caught, that he's been able to keep everything low key, I actually think it's going to do a disservice for him in the long run, because in his 20s and 30s, when most people were making their mistakes and learning from their lessons, he was keeping them all under the rug.
Yeah.
And then when the big one comes out, he doesn't have any ability to deal
Well, he
with,
has no self-awareness.
but he also has no experience being shown in a bad light.
Oh, that's true too, because he was always on the
At
on the
least like
high
since
horse.
season 1, 2, like ever since Ariana came around,
Yeah.
ever since Miami Girl with Ariana, he was on a really, really, really consistent and like not dramatic track.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I want to tell you, we can tell his mental age when he's got a Swiftie bracelet on.
Okay.
Because 14, 20-year-old girls wear Swiftie bracelets. And he had one on, and that shows that this 40-year-old man is a child. That's how we'll bring it back to Taylor Swift.
I share a apartment with someone with a Swiftie bracelet. And I also you have
He's
two
not
nieces.
41.
You have 3 nieces, and I
Yeah,
have
but
a sister and 2 cousins that are obsessed with Taylor Swift, and they're in their mid-20s and 32.
Yeah, but they're not 41. I mean, and they're not male, they're female. Do you know what I mean? I'm just saying it sort of
Yeah.
shows Tom's mental age to have a
Or it
Swifty
shows him
bracelet.
grasping at straws. Maybe he's hoping that Swifties will notice and they'll be like, oh, he's not that bad. He likes Taylor.
Well, I'm just saying that
He's
just to
grasping for
me,
straws.
I
And you know
just
what?
thought
When you
that shows
psychologically
how
look
he
back on
is.
last season,
Yeah.
for someone who was living such a lie, doing such a terrible thing to his girlfriend, he really was an arrogant piece of shit at that bar, yelling at their investor, thinking he knew
He was
everything.
yelling at everybody
And
last
so
year.
that to me is the narcissist. That's a narcissist.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well,
So,
he also wears a Swifty bracelet. So who's your mess?
Tom Sandoval.
Yeah.
He will be
Okay. Yeah.
until proven otherwise.
Okay. I agree. All
So,
right. Remember,
anyhow,
everybody, follow us on all of those platforms we mentioned earlier.
love you guys. Bye.